I made a GoPro mount stabilizing rig here for out of PVC, and I think it's going to work real good. Basically, you hold it both hands, point it at whoever you're shooting, and something I did up here was put another T. This is all PVC, obviously PVC pipe. This is 3/4. I did a 3/4 by 1/2 inch here because I had a little grommet. That's a rubber grommet. Because any kind of movement on the PVC is gonna, because it's solid surface, is gonna transfer to the microphone. So this rubber hopefully will shock, take the shock out, and will quieten down any movement. But the thing I did to hold the camera to this is, well, just let me take it out. This is that top, or the cap you were looking at where the GoPro was sitting, mounted in here like this, and basically all I did was take a drill bit. I don't have one with me right now. Take a drill bit and just drill it and drill it and drill it and drill it and eat that out until it fit. I will glue this in there with some adhesive, and that way I can use this for double duty. I'm all about double duty, and I'll be able to use this with that mount, with the GoPro mounted in it. Come on, go get in there. I'm not going to glue the camera on the post, but I will glue this. And I'm not sure what that mount is called, but glue that on the PVC. Then I'm not going to glue this. I'm going to leave that free, and I'll show you why. Here is the finished product. Again, it is all PVC. I have got the end of the lavalier mic stuck in that hole that was on that grommet there. Works real good. Stereo Sony mic. This is called a GoPro frame mount. I like it because it gives you access to, gives me access to the mini USB for the external microphone, and on this mic, and I think all the mics, you have to have this little adapter mini USB to 1/8 inch stereo phono. I like the frame, it's GoPro frame mount, because it gives you access to the battery. Now I've got a LED touch backpack on it right now, but it gives you access to the battery without taking it out of that frame. Now this frame will work on this setup. I prefer this frame here. I'm not going underwater or anything, so. But let me take this cap loose and let me show you how I did that, and the rest of it pretty self-explanatory, but I'll show you. As I told you before, I glued this mount here on inside the cap. You'll have to go back and remember what that mount looked like, but I've got it glued inside the cap. Now I left just enough 3/4. I glued in this 3/4 PVC and left just enough to have it go into the T, the 3/4 T there. So that's how I did that, and then let me show you the rest. Okay, your materials list is going to be 4 3/4 elbows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 T's, 1 T, another T, and a cap. So that's your materials list, and about 2 feet, less than 2 feet of PVC. These are 6 inches long, but when you put this mount on there, it's a little tight in there to hit your record button. So you might want to go 7 inches or even 8 inches on this. Okay, on these two here, just to give you a little more height here. You know, give you a little bit more height, so you got a little bit better access to that button. And I don't even have these glued together. I just stuck them together, pushed them together, and painted it, and I'm good. It's working great. This will swivel, since that is not little piece is not glued in there. This camera will swivel on this this cap, or the cap will swivel on in this T, which will give you, I don't know that you'll ever need to do that, but it will do. It will swivel. If you've got a larger camera, a big Sony, a larger Sony camera, something like that, that is 1/4 20, you can get put a bolt up through here, 1/4 20 bolt, mount that camera to it, but you'll probably have to make, since the GoPro is so small, you'll probably have to make this on up there. You'll have to do some measuring to make sure you get enough room in here for a larger camera. But anyway, it works great. The Sony mic works great. I really like that microphone, and I'm going to put a link to it below the video in case you're interested in an external mic. And again, this thing will work with the regular GoPro case. I really like this touch backpack. I mean, it allows you to change any of your settings from the backpack. Allows you to change any of your settings. It allows you to play back videos, which I don't have any videos on here right now, so I just erased all my videos. But it allows you to play them back. The speakers on this little backpack are surprisingly good, so it allows you to hear real well. So if you don't have an LED touch backpack, this particular one will work only on the Hero 3, I believe. So I'll put a link to it below also. And Amazon was sold out for a long time, so you may have to wait on it. But I think it's a neat deal. I'll put a link to this frame also. I really like that frame. I like that frame better than that one. And it's got, well, you can see. But right here on the sides, where the GoPro microphones are, it's got a little windscreen on either side. So it's, it's not, if you've got high winds, it's not as effective as you'd like for it to be. But it's not nearly as muffled as when you're in that case, unless you have a skeleton case on it. That case is horrible with the sound. So even if you don't have the Sony mic, having this frame allows you to have kind of a windscreen over your microphones, your regular GoPro microphones. And this gives you quite a bit of stability. So, in fact, I used this shooting in a shoot a couple of weeks ago, and I'll show you a clip from that right now. So it's a pretty cool little mount. You ought to go ahead and think about making one. It could probably cost $3, nothing. So you ought to think about making one. Now let me move on to the other mount. All this is just a piece of PVC. It's about 4 feet long. Got my sticker on it. I was going to use this cap and just not glue the PVC in it and just have a piece glued into this where I could take the cap on and off and put the cap on here, but I decided to do it this way instead. Either way would work great. I just got a multitude of these adhesive back GoPro mounts. So I just stuck one on the end of a cap, a flat cap, not a rounded. You want to make sure that's a flat surface there. And just stuck it on the end of that. I used it pretty extensively on a cowboy action shooting I did the other day. So, and I'll show you that right now. So, works pretty good. You can get in tight, get in close. I was able to stand, 4 feet away and get real close to their guns and rifles and such. And on the other side, I went ahead and put a 1/4 20 bolt through it with a couple of bolts on the end of it for the flip camera that I'm using right now. And I can just screw that flip cam on it, and I can use this end for my flip cam if I want to, and that end for my GoPro. So it's doing double duty. I really like things that will do double duty. So you ought to make you at least one of these mounts. This is the pole, the boom pole is what I use the most in that other that shoot I did the other day. So I was able to go over their heads and watch them shoot, and you know, just get pretty tight shots. They didn't even know I was there, and yet my camera was right on top of their head almost. So it was a pretty neat deal. And with the LED backpack, you can actually see what you're shooting. It you know, it gives you that advantage. I've rambled long enough, but you ought to make one. I will put a link to the GoPro camera, a 3 and a 3 Plus. I'll put a link to the frame. I'll put a link to the Sony camera, and I think that is going to be about it. But it's a real gives you a real stabilizing effect when you use this. So make you one. They're just too easy to make not to make one. At least make the boom pole. Okay, that boom pole will work for. Now, if you got a real heavy camera, the boom pole may be a little taxing to have it out on the end of a 4-foot pole. But this is pretty good, and you could use the boom pole, just set it on the floor, and use it as a just a 1-point mount, I guess you call that. They've got a name for it. Anyway, and just to stabilize it in that way. So anyway, it's a pretty cool unit, easy to make. I watched some other people make something similar on YouTube and decided to do that. The rubber grommet here takes the shock out of the microphone, and so any sounds that I do on the PVC is not transferred to the microphone because of the rubber does the shock value. You can find some kind of grommet, some kind of rubber item to stick in there and do the same. And anyway, make you one of these mounts. Pretty cool. GoPro stabilizing mounts. 2 of them.